Hello and welcome. Today I'm here to talk with Danny Draycott, an unsigned rock musician from Nottinghamshire in the UK, about his latest single, Ghost. And Danny's actually going to perform the song for us in an acoustic version after this interview. So stay tuned because it's an absolutely stellar version of the song that you won't want to miss. So welcome, Danny. How are things going for you today?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm just starting to settle down at the end of today. I think it's a little bit earlier for you guys.
Yeah, it's a midday for me. It's about the end of a Friday night for you. So
yeah, winding down from the week.
Yeah, and I want to just kind of introduce you because obviously we kind of just started talking over Instagram, and you sent me the signal, and I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. So then I kind of challenged you to say, well, let's see what it sounds like in an acoustic version. We'll kind of show people what that looks like after this interview's over. But tell me about the song Ghost, because I think it's a great song. I kind of understand the meaning and concept of it, but just kind of sum it up for people who haven't heard the song yet or kind of want to understand what you're all about from before the song we play after this interview.
I kind of just wanted to be positive. I wanted to write quite a few songs that were positive, upbeat, sort of anthemic in sounding, just really songs that would sort of inspire people. Because I think right now in the world, I think that's what people need. You know, there's been enough doom and gloom, and I think it was just about writing some tracks and also in sort of the lyrics of the track, it does sort of, it is a time of reflection where you kind of look back, but you also look forwards.
Yeah.
So it's more of a sort of a pick me up over what's happened with COVID, and just as a whole is just trying to give that positive feeling.
Yeah, and from what I gather, I mean, I could be kind of off. I'm missing it a little bit, but the ghosts are essentially memories or people in the past that kind of affect how you're acting now. But you know, you should take it and learn from it as opposed to make more mistakes in the same vein, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, like I say, it's about looking back and taking sort of where you've come from, where you are now, and sort of trying to look forwards and see a way out of it.
Nice.
You know, so it's, yeah, like I say, it's just trying to inspire people, I suppose. You know, when I listen to sort of my favorite artists and favorite songs, there's always a lot of you know, there's a lot of inspiration in there, and I think that's what makes a good song, is if people can relate to it. And take that inspiration and sort of use it and take it into whatever they're doing.
Yeah, obviously. So let's talk about you and how you record and all this stuff, because you're currently a one-man show and you produce all the drums and other instruments yourself as well. So I know I've got all this stuff behind me. I do a lot of the same stuff, and it doesn't come out nearly as good as what you've done. So how do you feel about doing it all yourself? And do you prefer to have it as a full band? And what's the process for you?
I definitely prefer the full band, band stuff. I find, I mean, I have sort of earlier in my as an artist, I have toyed with being an acoustic act, but I find it quite limiting into where you can take it.
Yeah.
Like in Ghosts, there's a lot of like delay effects on the guitars, so it's really a chance to sort of go nuts and make new sounds rather than just you know, relying on sort of good old fashioned distorted guitars and things.
Yeah, letting a rhythm strum kind of fill in the space there, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I wrote that song in kind of a bit of a weird way, because I don't think I actually play a full chord in the whole of the song. It's sort of all the notes sort of create the chords for me in a way, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of different guitar bits going off, and they sort of all build up into
you get the arpeggio that kind of goes through the beginning.
Yeah.
Quite nice, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, recording wise, I do everything myself. So I write it, record it all myself, even down to the artwork. I do my own artwork. I do my own videos for YouTube and stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people do nowadays, but it's time consuming. So in some ways, I love the control over the creative aspect. In some ways, I hate it because, I mean, it can take me like a month and a half to get a track.
That's quick,
And
because
to,
it would take me sometimes 6 months to get like 1 or 2 tracks down.
well, I mean, I've got a track at the minute, and I've a new track, and I've kept going back to it so many times, and
Yeah.
I think it was like a month and a half, 2 months, where I wrote all of the instruments basically up until the chorus, and I didn't have a chorus, and I could not find the right chorus to go with the track. So it was like Groundhog Day. Like every day I was coming up here and recording, and nothing was happening.
Yeah.
And at that stage, I kind of just stepped back and thought, well, you know what, I'm just going to leave it and go do something else for a bit until it sort of picks me back up, and I get that sort of buzz back for creating again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when I do recording, it's usually like I'll find the easiest song I can think of to like wedge in between a couple of hard songs, just so I can get a quick, easy win on the board. Like, that song's done, easy. Now let's go to the next one. I'm like, crap, this one's going to take a while.
Yeah, definitely. So I think in some ways I love the process that I've got. In other ways, I would love sort of just to walk into a studio and say, this is the track, this is how it goes, just record it all, leave the studio, leave all the production up to someone else, leave all the creative artwork and PR as well. Man, PR, that's a full-time job in itself. You know, like just like, trying to contact guys and like guys like you and sort of, when you think about mainstream artists, they have a lot of money put behind them, and there's a lot of people and man hours going into what they achieve. So, you sort of you get this real buzz from creating a track, and then you kind of get it all done, and you send it off to the distributor, and it all comes out on Spotify and stuff, and then you kind of sit there and think, well, what's next? Like, where do I start? Where do I start with all this?
And I mean, it's the single's been out for a little over a month and a half now, and it's, I don't know how many streams or whatever it's got, but that's the thing. Like, sometimes it might take, like, it picks up instantly, and a lot of people start to circulate it, or sometimes it takes 6 months to kind of start to make headway, and you're like, what do you do in between? You're just trying to get more visibility. So hopefully we can help you get some more visibility, because I think that the track really deserves it.
That'd be nice. I mean, early on, I think before it's released, we've got the BBC over here in the UK, which is kind of like one of the biggest media platforms, and it got played on BBC before it was released. So
nice.
It was, that gave it a good boost. But I think one of the main things when you're doing your NPR is you go through all the process of recording the track yourself and everything, and by the time you've finished mixing and mastering it, you're kind of sick of hearing the song.
Yeah.
So then you've got to go and talk.
Done. It's the baby's born. I'm done with it now.
But then you've got to go and like push it out to people and tell them how good it is, when really, you hear it back yourself and you're thinking, oh, I wish I'd knocked the snare drum down a little bit in that part, or what I mean, like all the little bits that you think you should have changed. And I mean, that's the danger of producing your own stuff, is that you never really get to a point when you think it's finished. You just have
to eventually say perfect's never going to happen, and it's good enough now, so I got to do
away. Well, I think that's one of the ways that I look at it. I think I do it all myself, and it's never going to be sort of the pro level of what the mainstream guys achieve, because I've not got microphones that are worth like thousands and thousands of pounds. I've not got the treatment in the rooms and stuff. So it's just about using, the best of what I've got. And and I think
it's not like you're not like you're a 20-year vet and sound engineer or something like that or anything.
It's I mean, it's some days it's hard, but you keep going, because at the end of it you get a lot of fulfillment from it.
Yeah, exactly. So what's coming up for you in 2022? You talked about new music and putting some new music together, but you're going to release more tracks. You're working on a full-length album, an EP. Or got any plans of playing any shows? Obviously, if that's possible during the 3rd year of lockdown now.
I mean, as far as writing songs goes, I've I've probably got 3 or 4 on the go at the minute, that are all in like sort of different stages of being finished. So there's definitely more music coming. I'm toying with the idea at the minute of whether it's going to be a full album or an EP, or maybe somewhere in between, maybe something like 7 songs. Because I think, you know, when you've been writing songs in sort of a certain vein for a while, your brain starts to think about other things and new ways in which you can go. And I don't want that to happen, and I don't want to sort of not have released this and I kind of start doing something a little bit different. I mean, I think it's going to pretty much be sort of, I mean, this is the basis now. This is the sound that I've been after for quite a while. So yeah, there's definitely new music on the way in 2022. EP or an album, I'm not decided yet.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as live shows go, that all depends on what's happening at the minute, because the new variant is like rampant in England, and you know, there's all things going off.
Well, you guys could just do what America does and pretend like it doesn't exist and just act normal.
No, I think only the people quite high up in the UK think that.
Yeah, I heard about Boris Johnson and his partying.
Yes, yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was just. I've not even got any description for that, but
yeah. Well, fingers crossed, things turn around. We get back to somewhat normal, and we don't have to go into lockdowns anymore or shut anything down, and we can actually start having live shows again worldwide and not have to worry about travel as much. So, let's talk about you. Like, what do you want to plug? Obviously, you got your Spotify, you got YouTube. What do you want to talk about, and what do you want to plug in before we throw it over to your performance today?
I think my Insta's a big one. I do spend most of my time on Instagram now. I've got to come clean and say that I didn't have Insta until sort of like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I'm the same. I started it like early January of 2021. I'm like, I hate Instagram. I hate social media. And I'm like, you know what? I don't see the point. Like, I definitely am off Facebook. Like, I just can't do Facebook much anymore. But Instagram, at least it doesn't have all the garbage that comes with Facebook, like all the bickering and stuff like that. So it's a lot more positive, in my opinion. You see, like, you follow only the people that you really want to follow. You don't have to follow, you know, your aunts and uncles on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things for sort of an independent artist is when you've got a page on Facebook and you look through the likes, and like most of them are people that like you actually know and your family and stuff, and who have just kind of liked it just to be nice. You know, so I think Insta is definitely, and Twitter as well. I've just started using Twitter again. I've had Twitter for a few years, but I kind of moved away from that because it didn't seem great for musicians, but it does seem to have picked up again now. So I've literally just started using Twitter again. But yeah, Danny Draycott Music on Insta is the handle.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll put some links obviously to everything so that way people can check it out below the video. So make sure you do check out everything that he has. Obviously the new single Ghost, we're going to play it for you. You can go check out the full actual, recorded studio version of it on his Spotify, but we're going to play for you a very cool acoustic version right after this. So Danny, I want to thank you very much for the interview today. And without further ado, here is Danny Draycott performing Ghosts acoustically.
Thank you.
The sun will rise, but I can see all the ghosts we left behind. The days, the nights, the sunrise, the lights, memories are locked inside. The birth, the tides, the days, the nights. time forgets, hold them close. I'll dance in